So they're not constantly asking, "What'd you guys do at the Lord meeting?" "Honey, I can't tell you." "Well, I want to know." So they put them in the Eastern Star and make them think that they're really achieving something. And then they have, what is it, the young boys thing where they're trying to raise these Boy Scouts is one of them. Do you know the Boy Scouts was started by a Mason? Think about it. You achieve levels and higher degrees, and there's all kinds of Masonic emblems in there and all kinds of stuff, and now they're allowing sodomites. We're going to look at that here in a little bit too. But then we have the Rainbow Girls. Look at the symbolism here, the Rainbow Girls. Oh, look, there's our triangle. So you have light going into the triangle there in the center of this logo, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rays of different colors coming out, and of course you see the symbol of the rainbow. This is a Masonic organization bringing these young ladies up into what's called the Rainbow Girls. Notice the hands clasped together. It's kind of hard for me to shake my own hand. The hands clasped together. Here's what that means. This is an opposite. This is the left side coming into the right side. And we'll show you sort of the meaning of that. In fact, we've already dealt with this in many places. Manly Hall and Albert Pike would say, well, this side represents the feminine, the earthly. This side represents the masculine, the heavenly. And they're clasped together. They're locked together in a Masonic grip. That's what the handshake represents in Freemasonry. So we know that it's the fusion of two things together to form a third thing where these 7 colors are radiating out. Take a look at this picture again, and you start to see the rainbow coming out of the pyramid or the triangle or the prism. The rainbow is a very, very important symbol in the New Age movement. That's New Age. I call it New Age because it rhymes with sewage. You got it. Take a look at this. Over the rainbow, dreams come true. Somewhere over the rainbow. So think about the meaning of this. And by the way, have somebody in this logo, right in the center point of the many colors of the rainbow, you have someone doing yoga. They're all tied up in a knot, and their body's making all these different things. So we're dealing with Eastern mystical thought, the idea of the transformation of the mind, of the consciousness, even of the body. Reincarnation, that's what it's all about. Reincarnation is basically Freemasonry done by a repeated death, sort of like the dying God. Reincarnation says you start out at a low spot, you want to end up at a high spot up here, and so you have to die like 25, 30 times in order to get there. Do you remember the movie Groundhog Day? Bill Murray, on the 33rd day of the year, think about it, February 2nd, was dying every night, rebirthed again every morning, and every day he was bettering himself. Learned how to play the piano, he learned everybody's secrets, he learned he essentially became a god because of what he could do. And he was doing that over and over and over again. So that's what this symbol is associated with. It's associated with the transformation of mankind into gods. Here's this one right here. Take a look at this logo here. And you're going to instantly recognize it. You're going to know exactly what this particular symbol means. It is the symbol for the gay pride movement. Take a look at it again, because I'm going to show you. There's a word there, and I'm going to show you what this means and what this represents. This is the symbol of the sodomites all over the world. It is the symbol of the gay pride movement. Here again, you have a triangle like a prism. You have the colors of the rainbow represented herein. It represents a transformation. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But to me, the biggest part of this is the word pride. Pride. Every time they have a parade, what do they call it? Oh, this is our pride parade. We're proud of the fact that we're two men and we kiss each other on the mouth. God said in Romans chapter 1 that was an abomination. He said it all throughout the Old Testament. He said it's absolutely wrong for this to happen. And I've been telling everybody for the last few years, and it's not that I'm just some super genius or some big prophet from God and I know the future. It's just how things, you can just look at it and say, this is where we're headed. Several years ago, we had major Christian leaders like Rick Warren, Rob Bell, Brian McLaren, et al., others, Jimmy Baker's son, Jay Baker, these guys were taking a soft position on the sin of sodomy. Very soft position on it. It looked to me like at some point they were going to actually go against what the Bible was saying about it to an open endorsement. So far, Rob Bell has done it, Jay Baker's done it, Brian McLaren's done it, and Rick Warren has done it. He's essentially said that he doesn't believe that a man loving another man is a sin. And even if they fornicate with one another, it may not be sinful. That's what he said. And this is interesting because of the word pride here. And I'm going to show you that right out of this. See, God knew this already. He already knew this. Ezekiel chapter 16 is talking about Jerusalem and how corrupt Jerusalem has become. Jerusalem represents the church, I believe, and how corrupt the church has become. And I want you to notice what God said here. He said in Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49, "Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom." So, and of course we know from Genesis chapter 18 and chapter 19, we know that the land of Sodom was full of sodomites. Get it? They were people who lived in Sodom. But we call them sodomites. We call homosexuals or gay people or all the other words for them. We call them that. That's what the Bible calls them because of what we see in Genesis 19. In Genesis 19 it said the men, both young and old, they all knew each other, literally. And when the two male angels came into town, they wanted Lot to kick them out so we may know them. They wanted to commit gay, homosexual fornication with these angels. But what leads to that kind of depravity? What leads to that? God said, "Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom." First word out of his mouth was pride. First word out of God's mouth associated with Sodom was pride. Fullness of bread and abundance of idleness. Sounds like America at the Chinese buffet, doesn't it? And was in her and in her daughters, neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. And if you just look at it, the symbol of the triangle, the colors of the rainbow, and the word pride, it comes right out of the Scriptures. God said later of His people, they declare their sin as Sodom. They're open about it. They're not trying to hide it anymore. They're out there, baby, and they're loving it. And so now this spirit of Sodom is encompassing our entire world as they march behind the banner of the rainbow. Here's an article just came out last week. Rainbow flag raised at Syracuse City Hall to celebrate gay, look at the word, pride. Mayor Stephanie A. Minor kicked off a celebration of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer pride in Syracuse today by raising the rainbow flag over City Hall with members of CNY Pride. Minor presented a proclamation honoring the accomplishments of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered individuals, the advancement of gay rights, and the anniversary of the Stonewall riots. It is an honor to raise the pride flag over City Hall each year. You see, remember, they declare their sin as so we're raising the flag. Look at what we are. We're an abomination to God. This is what we're doing. And they're all marching behind the symbol of the rainbow. Now, here's what in the New Age thought in I think Elise Bailey wrote about this and some others. They talked about the symbolism of what a homosexual represented. Here you have a man with female tendencies who thinks like a woman. You have the fusion of the male-female embedded into that person. That's why this is such a strong and powerful symbol for them, because it's an accurate representative of the Antichrist. Think of what we learned about Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a sodomite, and he drew a sketch called Angel in the Flesh, or Flesh Angel, that I'm not going to show it to you, but it basically was a guy, maybe, sort of feminine facial features, and he had part female parts and part male parts in the same body. this same image from like the head up, because this image of flesh angel in the flesh, the spirit world mingled with the human world, was an androgynous type being, and it was making like this gesture, doing this with his face. That was the exact same pose and face and gesture that Leonardo da Vinci used for his painting of John the Baptist, the androgynous guy. So we know who that is. That is Baphomet. He is, look at him, he is angel in the flesh. He has wings, and he's in a human body. And that human body is female and male together. And I want you to notice that there is a rainbow here over his male part. Are we getting somewhere here? And notice his hands, one pointing up, one pointing down. We're going to look at the symbolism of that here in just a little bit. The pentagram, which is his 5-point plan, and so on. So this is why this symbol of the rainbow and the triangle is associated with the Antichrist, because and the gay pride movement, because the homosexuals, the transgendered, which means that they have fused the two genders together, a woman becoming a man, man becoming a woman. They fused them together in the same body, and it represents the spirit of Antichrist. That's why you have the rainbow. They're following the flag of the rainbow. Now remember, hang on here. Ready? Remember, the rainbow over the top of the throne represented the glory of the Lord. Here comes Jesus, clothed with a cloud, and he's got a rainbow over his head. He's wearing it like a crown. Take a look at this. Newsweek came out last year. The first gay president. I see an antichrist here. No, I don't believe Barack Hussein is the Antichrist, but he is an antichrist. He's wearing the crown of the rainbow over his head. Remember what Lucifer said, I will be like the Most High. How many things, when in Obama's acceptance speech in the 2008 presidential election, he comes out, his nomination speech, he comes out in, Denver, Colorado, and they basically built a Greek temple. And so here is a God, Messiah figure, in a Greek temple. Now they show him with a rainbow over his head. Another Messiah, another Jesus. That's what he represents. So we're starting to see this now a little bit clearer. This is not just an evil government trying to take over everybody, but that is part of it. There is an end game to this. It is all an essential part of bringing the entire world under the dominion of the Antichrist. Now, we pointed out last week, and if you probably already knew this, a rainbow takes in light, and what it does, the prism separates the 7 color bands that's already present inside that light. I have light shining on me right now. You go outside, there's sunlight. You take a prism or anything like that, you shine it on something, and you're going to see the light going in there, and then it's called refracted, not reflected. It's refracted into, fractured means it's broken up, refracted into its 7 primary colors. We looked at the symbolism of the number 7. In fact, we did just